Hey, it's your Nashville Geek Girl. I'm here with my friend, fellow cosplayer and con-goer, and the chapter director of the Fading Moons chapter of Heroic Interactive Theater, Justin Roman.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for coming. For those of you that don't know, Heroic Interactive Theater is a LARP game, and Justin's going to tell us all about it.
Most of the time when we have an event, we do it at a state park, usually group camps, and we usually do it all weekend. So we start Friday night, and from Friday night until Sunday morning, you eat, sleep, drink, everything except go to the bathroom as your character.
In character. Very cool.
Yeah, we try to keep the bathrooms out of game just because that can get awkward.
Yeah, I imagine so. No monsters in the bathrooms.
No.
That wouldn't be good at all. Speaking of monsters, now when you encounter a monster, it's a person in costume?
Yes.
As a monster?
Yes. And most of the time that's what we do is we call it phys repping, which is short for physical representation.
Right.
So when you phys rep, if you are a goblin, you're going to be wearing green. You're probably going to have green face paint on, or a mask that will represent that goblin, or if you're going to be a wolf, you're going to have a wolf mask and have a different color tabard on. We try to represent that as best as possible. I mean, we can only do so much. The fact that we want to cause people to have to suspend disbelief as little as possible. So when we're playing something, we want to get as close to that as we can.
Okay. So. That's cool. And that brings me to another thing, which is the actual combat. Obviously, as a D&D player, I have a paper with everybody's stats and the creature's stats, and I mark down everything. How does that happen in your game?
Heroic is a hit point game, so you still have hit points. And as combat progresses, if you are, since you are not rolling dice to determine damage, you have a certain set of skills that allows you to either swing your sword or your claw for a certain number. And when you do that, like if I've got my claw here and I'm swinging at you, I'm going to be calling two normal, and that denotes how much damage and what kind of damage. Okay. So there's different types of damage, because we'll have like normal damage, then you'll have silver, which is a silver-coated weapon, or eldritch, which is a magical type of damage, and then fire, ice, stone, lightning. But there's limitless things on kind of damage, but every time you swing, and it's really an honor-based system. I have 20 hit points, but I also have a protective up called Eldritch Body that gives me 5 extra hit points, and then I may have armor on as well. So you'll know your total number and where those numbers differentiate, and you just kind of have to, I've got a total of 25, and I just got hit 12 times. I've only got 1 body left. The next time I get hit, I go down. So then you go down, and you would go into what we call a bleed out count.
Okay. Which
is a 60-second count of you're keeping it up in your head of in 60 seconds. If somebody doesn't give me some kind of healing or first aid, I'm going to then die.
Right.
And then after you die, you require a life spell, and you get into the whole thing of death and dying, because you can what we call dissipate. After a certain point, depending on your race, your body will dissipate, and then you'll have to be resurrected. And so it just...
So there's no drawing up in your character sheet?
There is permanent death.
Is there?
But it's on we use a bead draw system. Your first event, none of your deaths count. We're giving everybody that kind of that first event to just fill things out. None of those deaths are going to count against you. And for most of our games, after that you get 2 freebie deaths. So the first 2 times you die after that first event, you don't have to draw. You're automatically going to resurrect.
Okay.
And it's just going to happen. Then after that you go to a bead draw. Every time you die, you have 10 beads in a bag, and the first time you die after that, you'll have 1 black bead and 9 white beads, and you'll draw, and if you draw white, you're fine. If you draw black, you're permanently dead. That character died.
Time for a new character.
Time for a new character.
Aww.
I've been playing the same character for 11 years. I've never resurrected, and I always like to say that's because I'm not dumb. I've had people come up to me in game and be like, "Hey, you want to go do something stupid?" And I'm like, "No.
No solo dragon killing. No. Let's not do that today."
We're not going to do that. We know that's a bad idea. You shouldn't do it either, but I'm not going to stop you because have fun.
Yeah.
And permanent death's not real common. because there are ways, like if you donate time or donate materials to the chapter, you can get something we call heroic points, and those heroic points can be used to buy blacks out of your bag.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So if you go to an event, you can come to an event and you can play the monster for the weekend, which
fun.
So non-player character, and you just get to play different things all weekend. Like you'll be that goblin, or you'll be that wolf, or you'll be part of the dragon that comes out. And when you do that, when you donate your time, you earn those hero points, and you earn experience for your character as well by doing that.
Yeah. Now the experience points thing brings me to the other question. As there's experience points. So is there leveling up? And
yes.
What do you gain by leveling up?
Experience. Experience in our game, its experience is how you build your character. You use experience points to buy skills, and as you level up, of course, you'll get more hit points and other things like that you would normally. But most of it is about having that experience, so then you can buy your skills.
Okay, so very much like D&D and Rifts. Now, how do you do magic in your game? Because I played Dagger here, and I was a very annoying pixie, and my magic was basically throwing glitter at people, and they don't like that. They don't like that at
all. Our magic system is what we use, what are called spell packets. I really wish I had thought to bring one, but it's basically a small, like 6-inch by 6-inch piece of fabric filled with birdseed and then a rubber band.
Okay.
And so I would say my incant of, I call upon the cycle to cure wounds 10. And I say that incant, and then I throw the packet. And if I hit you with the packet, the spell hits you.
Okay. Now, the other thing, too, was props, because I know that in Dagger here, everything is very, that foam sort of pool noodle. Yeah. Is it the same thing?
Kind of. We're not... Dagger here has different specs than we do, because we are very much just a touch-based system.
Right.
You're hitting people hard enough that they feel that you've touched them.
Yeah.
But if you're leaving a mark of any kind, you're hitting somebody too hard in our game.
Oh, yes. I left Dagger here with plenty of bruises.
Yeah, I define those more not so much as LARPs, but as battle sims.
It is much more. There's no real role play. Yeah. It's very battle centered.
That's why I'm very much more of LARPing, because it's live action role play.
Yeah.
And so I very much want to get into that character and become that character. And, the combat's a part of it just because of the fantasy world that we live in. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm still going to interact. Most of my interaction when I'm playing is going to be with other players.
Right.
I'd say probably 70% of your interaction is with other players, because that's who you're dealing with on a constant basis.
Yeah.
And you've got to figure out, we've got this lich we have to go take care of. How are we going to do this? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And so you have to do, talk to your other people around. We have some people that they come to play, but they want to be the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got players at my game that I run that I constantly have to take. They're like, I'm going to go talk to Losian, who is one of our big bad guys. And they're like, I've got somebody who's Losian's apprentice, who's a player, who people are like, oh, well, we need help. Let's go get that guy. And it's like, if you only knew what he was really doing behind the scenes.
Right, because only the storyteller would know.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, I would be the bad guy. Yeah. I'm always the Sith.
Hey, each your character. Do what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, now understand that if you're playing that guy and you're going to be that bad guy, if you get caught, we as the storyteller are not going to save you.
Yeah, the party's going to kill you.
Everybody else is going to kill you, and we're not going to stop it. It's whatever you want to do. And I mean, we've got a lot of players, like, there's some who are, I guess the best way to describe them, they are morally neutral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's more about what they're going to get out of it, or what somebody that care about is going to get out of it. Everybody else, whatever.
Which is why I cosplay Emma Frost. She's very, very chaotic neutral.
Yes, we have a lot of chaotic neutral.
Now, you have a game this weekend.
Yes.
And is that one at the Harrison Bay State Park?
Yes, it's at Harrison Bay State Park. We'll be there, and that is, what's the 26th through the 28th. Ah. And then we have another game, which is the Shonen game, which is it's a steampunk horror LARP with fantasy characters. So you have elves running around in a world that has steam tech.
Yay.
And, that our job is really, we want people to be scared when they come to that game. So
that's cool.
And May 17th through 19th, we're back at Harrison Bay State Park with Fading Moons, which is the high fantasy game.
Okay.
So.
Very cool. Now, the Fading Moons, is there fairies and stuff in that one too?
There is a little bit of everything in that. We have the Fey world there, which some of our PCs are heavily involved with. Some of them stay far, far away from it.
Yeah.
Which I understand, because when I play, I don't want anything to do with Fey.
No.
They are very, very tricksy. I have an overall story, but there's so many different aspects of it, because I have what we call the overall arc, but then I have so many little sub-arcs. Right now, I think, currently at Fading Moons, there are no less than 12 storylines running.
And you keep track of all of that?
No, I have a staff to help me with
that.
Well,
that's good. I could barely keep track of what I'm doing.
I would go crazy, but with the storyline. So I'm excited
about that.
Well,
and you you guys offer a discount for new players?
Yes, we do.
And there's a military discount?
Yes.
So that's very cool.
We always try to take care of our military guys, so we definitely always try to give them a discount, and to the point that I always try to tell people, if you want to come to an event and you just can't afford full price, don't ever, just talk to me. I'm very much somebody that's going to be like, look, I have to pay the site cost, but if I make site cost, I don't care. I'm not in this to make money. If I was in this to make money, I would have quit years ago.
Yeah.
I'm in this to have a good time and entertain my players. And so I'm very much one of those, if you can't afford it for some reason, NPCing is always free. So coming out and playing the bad guy and earning those heroic points and the experience for
or
your
the tavern keeper or the
free.
innkeeper. There's tons of things like that. Now, at one point, you had a dragon.
Yes.
Tell us about the dragon.
We had a dragon come up, and this is actually, it will probably come up again. But when we did that, we ended up having 7 people phys-repping this dragon. So there's 7 different people, one person be in the front, 2 people be in the front claws, and 2 people be in the back claws, and one person be in the tail. And then we had this great big, I've got a mask that's probably bigger than you. That's just, huge, that I was holding that mask up, and then I had somebody else walking around with me as the bite. And so we're walking around, and then we had another guy that was all he was doing. He wasn't actually in the fight, but he was what we call lich marshalling. And that means he was just walking around paying attention to how many times the dragon got hit, and calling protectives, and calling damage, and keeping track of how much damage was being done to the dragon. So, that fight, I think, took about an hour and a half for them to do the dragon. And
Take the dragon out.
Yeah, there was a couple of things, and like one of the girls there, what plays a unicorn scavenger, and so to help with the dragon, she broke off part of her horn, tied it to an arrow, and had one guy shoot it. This did a great amount of damage to the dragon, but is a huge faux pas in her culture. Yeah. So she had huge ramifications come out of doing that. It helped a lot. Yeah. But it cost her dearly as her character.
Right. Okay, so again, this is Justin with the Fading Moons chapter of Heroic Interactive Theater out of Chattanooga. And you're gaming this weekend. You're gaming May 17th weekend.
And next weekend as well, May 4th.
And next week, they're very busy. Yes. So you should look it up and you should go. Because I'm going to go at some point. It's going to be awesome.
I can give you the information. Our national website is heroicit.net. And then we have fadingmoons.com, which is my chapter's boards and everything. You get some information there. And then shonen.com for the steampunk horror one. And then, of course, we're also on Facebook. So Fading Moons, Heroic Tennessee, and Shonen are all groups that are on there.
Okay, and I'm going to put all those links right in here somewhere. It's going to be awesome. Look for those and click on them. All right, thank you, Justin.
No problem.